Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. So it's been 10 days since I last did a haul video, so I guess it's about time I did another one. And over the last couple of days actually I've been finding a few things, a couple of books, a few Laserdiscs, just a few Blu-rays and of course some DVDs, which is what I most enjoy finding. So first up I'll just show you the Laserdiscs that I found. And here we have Heaven and Earth, directed by Oliver Stone. This one came out after Born on the 4th of July. I did see this at the cinema, but I don't think I've actually seen it since. Next we have Ghosts of Mississippi. This one is directed by Rob Reiner and stars Whoopi Goldberg, Alec Baldwin and James Woods. And next we have The Phantom, and this one stars Billy Zane and quite a good supporting cast that includes Christy Swanson, Treat Williams, Catherine Zeta-Jones, directed by Simon Windsor. And next up, just before I show you the Blu-rays and the DVDs, I'll show you a couple of the movie books that I found. And the first one being this biography here on Spencer Tracy. So yeah, this one, nice picture of him there. Pretty thick, weighty book, this one, so it'll no doubt take me a bit of time to read it. Now, my reading these days isn't great. I do a lot of reading during my work day, and so in the evenings I'm not always wanting to read books so much nowadays, but I do like reading biographies. So yeah, I'm currently reading the one on Hayley Mills, but yeah, this one I will add to the pile. And then I was really pleased to find this one. I know a lot of people are not huge fans of musicals, but I am, and this book is really magnificent. Huge book here, but this one has, I won't open it up and show you now, but I'll perhaps do that in a later video when I do intend to talk about some musicals. But this has some really wonderful pictures in it. Yeah, I was very pleased to find this one. Okay, and now on to the Blu-rays. Just 3 Blu-rays here, and we have Nomadland, the Oscar-winning movie that stars Frances McDormand, directed by Chloe Zhao. And then we have Pirate Radio, and this one was written and directed by Richard Curtis, and it stars the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, Bill Nighy, Nick Frost, Kenneth Branagh. So yeah, Reese fans. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing this one. And then a Denzel Washington movie that didn't really hit the big time at the box office, but yeah, nonetheless I'll be intrigued to see it. Roman J. Israel Esquire, directed by Dan Gilroy, who had also done Nightcrawler. Now on to the DVDs in no particular order, and first up from the 60s we have Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines. This one was directed by Ken Anakin, and that's Terry Thomas that you can see on the cover there. What an absolute shower! And then we have The Spirit, and this is from Frank Miller, who had created Sin City and 300, and he had a go at directing this one as well. But it did have quite a critical mauling when it came out, didn't do very well at all. But yeah, it has an interesting supporting cast that includes Scarlett Johansson, Eva Mendes, Samuel L. Jackson. Next, not sure if I'm going to be open-mouthed with this one, but it's The Secret Lives of Dentists. And this is an Alan Rudolph film. And this one stars Campbell Scott and Hope Davis. Next, a bit of whimsy, and we've got Ted Danson and Jolie Richardson in Loch Ness. And next we have Bandit Queen, and I remember this one coming out in 1994 to a bit of controversy. This is directed by Shekhar Kapoor, who then went on to direct Elizabeth, starring Cate Blanchett. But yeah, this one had some controversy because the real-life Phoolan Devi that this character is based on was not too happy about how she had been portrayed in this film, and it did lead to a bit of a settlement, I think, with Film 4, who had produced this. And next up from 1989 is this medical student comedy, Gross Anatomy, which stars Matthew Modine, being quite cheeky, and Daphne Zuniga, who was in The Sure Thing, and this was directed by Tom Eberhard. Next, I think this is on Netflix, but yeah, this is season 1 of The Kaminsky Method, which stars Michael Douglas and the late Alan Arkin. Next up from 2001 is this baseball comedy, The Scout, and this one stars Brendan Fraser and Albert Brooks. Seems like quite a good combination, but I don't think it was that successful when it came out. And then next I've got a 3-pack here of Michael Douglas films, which include, funnily enough, I didn't have in my collection Wall Street, so that's the main reason I got this. But it also includes The War of the Roses, which I do have. and Don't Say a Word, which is a thriller that also stars Brittany Murphy. And next I've got a 4-pack here of romance movies, but this is Forget Paris with Billy Crystal and Deborah Winger. The Goodbye Girl, but not the one with Richard Dreyfuss. This is a remake that's got Jeff Daniels in it. And then we've got Her Alibi with Tom Selleck, which I do remember seeing that at the cinema, and Best Friends with Burt Reynolds and Goldie Hawn. I don't know that one. Next up we've got Charlie Chaplin in Monsieur Verdoux. I have a few in this series. I have the Gold Rush and Modern Times and the Circus, I think, in this series of DVDs. Yeah, Monsieur Verdoux, not one of my favourites of Chaplin's, but nonetheless pleased to have this. One that I may end up regretting getting, and this Surfer Dude with Matthew McConaughey and his pal Woody Harrelson, as well as Willie Nelson in this. Next up, really pleased to find this. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, The Wild Geese from 1978. So yeah, this is kind of like the 70s equivalent of The Expendables, I suppose, with aging stars behaving as mercenaries going out on a mission. But yeah, this was good fun. It got Roger Moore, Richard Burton, Richard Harris and Hardy Kruger. Yeah, good fun. Next, always like finding these TCM packs, and this one's unopened, but yeah, it includes Mildred Pierce, I Remember Mama, which I hadn't got, Mrs. Miniver, which I hadn't got, so I'm pleased to find that, great movie, and The Magnificent Ambersons. Next up, from director Bernardo Bertolucci, who had directed The Last Emperor, comes Little Buddha, and this one really didn't do very well at the box office, and its main star Keanu Reeves got heavily criticised for being miscast in this. But yeah, this co-stars Bridget Fonda and Chris Isaac. It does have cinematography by the great Vittorio Storaro and a music soundtrack by Ryoichi Sakamoto, so I'm sure there's something of interest here. Next, a classic Led Zeppelin concert, filmed as The Song Remains the Same. And next, and yes, I know this one is not very well thought of either. I did actually go and see this at the cinema. I didn't have too bad a time of it because I like the cast, I suppose. Bradley Cooper, Rachel McAdams, Emma Stone, Bill Murray, Alec Baldwin I think is in this as well. So yeah, but directed by Cameron Crowe, not his finest hour, but nonetheless I got this as part of a 3 for $1 deal, so I thought, okay, why not? And next we have Cousin Bet, and this stars Jessica Lange and also co-stars Elizabeth Shue and Bob Hoskins and Hugh Laurie. So yeah, quite an interesting cast this, directed by Des McAnuff, who also directed The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle after this, but he had also produced The Iron Giant. And next, I'm sorry I have to place my fingers carefully here, but yeah, this is a documentary, Frames from the Edge, on Helmut Newton, the celebrated fashion photographer who did portraits of celebrities and also nudes as well. And next, David Lynch's The Straight Story. Really pleased to find this one. And then finally, and maybe the most interesting find of the lot, is this one from 1966, Irazumi, which is directed by Yasuzo Masamura. And the great thing about this also is that it's written by Kanito Shindo, who had directed Kuroniko and Onibaba, and also The Naked Island, all three of which you can find in the Criterion collection. But yeah, this one looks very fascinating. And what a great cover. Okay, there we go, another mix of movies. Let me know in the comments what you think of those. And please, if you have enjoyed this video, then consider liking, subscribing, do come back for more, or revisit some of my previous videos. I have a lot of haul videos where there's always a mixture of movies there. I also like doing reviews of movies which are not the sort of current releases, if you like, or anything that's sort of currently out on a boutique label. I don't review those, but I just try and keep other films in the conversation. So yeah, please check out my other videos, and hopefully I'll see you again. Thanks very much for joining me. All the best to you. Bye bye.